difficult.
So you use the...
There we go. There we go. Now it's working properly. All right. All right. Nobody's there because this is unannounced.
Yep.
And there's no notifications going out. But folks...
What time is it in South Africa now? It's now...
It's morning. It's morning in South Africa. Let's see.
You
It's
might be lucky.
6:48. Well, it's Sunday morning, so we'll see how many people show up. Well, people will show up in a few minutes. So anyway, in the meantime, let's listen to this song about Steve Hofmeyer.
Yep.
Is that too loud for the girls? And so when I have Suno like this, what I can do is click on the song, and then here's the lyrics.
I love my Suna.
Hey, Ulrich, what's up? I'm not alone. Come in. Who's that? Who's that? Mad Max is joining me. And then I come over here because it wasn't scheduled. I can bring it up now. So I'm going to reload the lives. See, it's not there. She's a rock star, Stevie. Yeah, she's wonderful person. See, now it's there. I come over here because the chat's so small.
Broken Arrow, I think that's the guy that you still need to do an interview.
Yeah, I've interviewed him. I have to switch here because it's on top chat by default. I go to live chat. And now since already told me to put an ad in. And I don't subject people to those ads.
What's that? Hey, man, it's already seen you.
They see you. Look, it's Mad Max. Ooh, Steven, you would Steve Hofmeyer. I did really well with this song. Steve loves it.
That was also done on Suna.
And it's, what's that?
Also done on Suna.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. No, but so when I made it, I sent it to Steve before I showed it to anyone. Because it's a friend, you know. And he said, oh, that's awesome, man. And so then he sent me like all these photographs, and that's what I put in the video. That video is still growing. So unlike a lot of videos, it was like 80,000 last time I looked at it.
Unbelievable.
Pretty cool.
And CBB also always writes Dutch to me because he can speak Dutch like me.
Who's that?
CB.
She.
CBB? Yeah.
She. What are you doing? Stop touching the screen. This hero keeps touching the screen, man. You can't bring moderators on the show. They're out of control. Stop touching the screen.
I want to delete that comment.
Stop touching the screen. Did you delete the comment? No. No, CB's a woman. Ever since these stupid usernames, you can't tell men and women there, but I know what Lowry's is. I know CB personally. Salt of the earth. What happened with President Trump? Says something wrong with President Trump. I don't know what's going on. Paul de Klerk. Dean Bolter. Hey, Dean, what's going on? Renee Bellefeld. Yeah, what's going on with Trump? I don't know. Trump is fine, okay. So I don't know what the drama is. Oh, jeez. Suspect with knives and guns in the White House. Oh my goodness. Well, I'll check into that here a little bit. Unarmed national security against the White House. Correspondence dinner. These people are insane. They're absolutely demented.
En voert inderdaad voor ons.
I hit mute. So vodka. It's the third attempt on Trump's life. So vodka model says she really can't hear what we're saying because the music's playing. That's okay because we were talking about you. So, folks, listen. Back from the Brian Poiki Fest, and look, I got some bling. First off, I got this cool T-shirt. By the way, next time I'll wait till the end because I bought it and it was 50% off 20 minutes later. Anyway, so I got this cool one. So there you go. It's pretty cool. Got a hat to go along with it. So it's nice hat. And then this one's kind of cool. I couldn't help myself.
That was the discounted one.
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was discounted because this cost them, because of the leather, it costs a lot. So I got the, anyway. And I picked up other bling. I found a moderator. How cool is that? So I got a moderator. So, wow. Yeah. Anyway, so failed gunman didn't get in the room. Okay, cool. Look, these people were demented, bizarre. Kind of like the people who glom onto my channel and make videos about me and claim. Anyway, so look, we're not going to talk about Miss Heartburn tonight, okay? So if you want to talk about Miss Heartburn, that's I'm not interested in that. So anyway, we're not going to do that. But yeah, so we went to the Bry and Poiki Fest, and Mad Max and I were judges for the Poiki.
Yes, that was awesome.
That was pretty awesome. But we were away from his family for a long time. I think we thought he was AWOL because he was gone for a while. But yeah, no, it was only 2 people on my team. So I said to Yaku, who organized, I said, "Do you mind if I'll go get Jan, man. He'll do it. I'm sure he'll do anything." I was like, no. I said, there's this commercial when I was a kid for Life cereal. Let's get Mikey to eat it because they don't know what the cereal is like. It looks kind of bland. Like, let's get Mikey to eat it. He'll eat anything. So I said, anyway. So I said, no, he'll do it. And so the 3 of us did it. It was actually awesome.
Yeah.
So 2 things.
There were about 40 pots.
Oh yeah, it was a lot. So 2 things. I don't eat lamb. I think everybody knows that. And I don't eat oxtail.
And onion.
Yeah, but we were able to avoid the onion because there weren't many onions. But there were lamb and oxtail. Now, the reason I don't eat oxtail is because, it's the tail, and they poo there, right? Why would I eat a piece of meat where people are pooing all the time? It doesn't make any sense. But I know Africans love oxtail. So we had oxtail, and I ate the lamb, and oh my God, the oxtail. One of those poikis was hands down the winner.
The lamb, that was the lamb shank pot.
No, yeah, the lamb. Yeah, it was lamb. That was, and then one of the oxtails was good too. But then the guy had 2 poikis, and one was incredible. The second one was pretty good, but we could tell the difference between the 2. But we got that first one, and we dip out of the same bowl, and I stepped back, and I was the first to taste it, and I'm like, oh, and he had his taste. I looked at him, I said, "This is the best one by far."
That's correct.
It was that good. Oh my God! So look. They're trying to turn me into a boar. It's they're going to make me start growing my beard longer again, and make me start singing paparazzi and stuff like that. Like Snotkop, and it's out of control. Now they got me eating lamb and oxtail. I mean, what's next? It's crazy. Anyway, but did you have a good time?
I had an awesome day today.
So did I, and we met all kinds of South Africans. Are you the famous Mad Max? Well, are you?
I'm not the real famous Mad Max, but I'm the real Mad Max.
Yeah. So, I had a great time too. It was 31-year-old tried to shoot at the ball they had. He shot a security guard. Vest on him. He's in hospital. Trump said it was probably Californian, and he was right. It wasn't Californian. Great nuts out there. Those people are crazy. Yeah, so had a lot of fun. So all right, so I don't hold stuff back from people. So Max, what happened when I showed up?
When the colonel showed up, a lot of the expats didn't know who's Colonel Wyatt. Yeah. And the refugees had a good time. They immediately attacked Colonel.
No, he's jumping ahead. He's jumping ahead. When I showed up, not during the day. When I showed up, what happened?
Me and the Colonel hugged, and we shed a tear because knowing Colonel for so long and knowing what we've been gone through and the time we waited for everything to happen and finally seeing the Colonel in the States.
He made me cry.
I think it was one of the best things that could have happened.
He made me cry. And so
it was awesome.
He also had a tear. I saw a long tear come down his cheek. Now we had a very, very good hug. So yeah, it was awesome. It was kind of an emotional release for me. So these guys are here. Every night when he would watch the show, I got to go do patrol. I worried about him and about his family because I met them at Vanderbilt Park. And they seemed to be the most adult of the people there. And I'm not picking the people who were there that night. They were good people, but he kind of stood out from the crowd. I mean, it's, and I didn't really, anyway. So I really was worried about their safety. So it was great to see that they're fine here. And oh my gosh, the youngest, oh my gosh, that child she's like so adapted already. She's like, someone gave her a bicycle, man. She logged about 37 kilometers tonight running around the campground.
She adapted fast.
Yes, she did. She did. And boy, was she happy to see me. So when I first saw her, it was with you guys because she's running around the bicycle.
Right.
And I parked my car and I came a little bit later because I did the news. And I don't think anybody knew I was doing the news. So I did after the Stormers destroyed Glasgow. Anyway, so I did the news. Yes, there's a Stormers fan in the room you can't see, so not just me. So I parked the car and I came around the little building, and this little girl comes around the bicycle, and I'm like, gosh, she looks familiar. And trying to place it real quick. And then she's like, mm, 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 mm. And then this other people's like, oh, Colonel Wyatt, how are you? She goes, I was right. It's you. It's Chris Wyatt. She gave me a hug. And then she insisted on taking me to her dad and showing me where her dad was. So that's how we linked up. It was a really special day. Boy, the Campbells were awesome.
That was something else.
And the thumbnail for this stream is the Campbells tonight. They were incredible. By the way, I will be interviewing the Campbells sometime soon. And that was fantastic. And Fat Man last night was incredible too. You guys didn't see that, but I saw it. That was, he was incredible. So I asked him because he's lost a lot of weight. I said, is your music effective? Because I remember when I was younger, Christopher Cross, sailing, take me away. Incredible artist, Christopher Cross. He was a big fellow. And then he lost a bunch of weight in the 80s. And then his voice wasn't the same after that. And it kind of faded away. He's still around. I don't think he's died. But so I was wondering, did it affect his singing? And he said, yeah, I'm a better singer now. I said, how so? He said, now my diaphragm works. Is it buried under fat? I was like, oh, dude. He actually said something a little crass or two, unrelated to that, but I won't relate that story on the stream tonight. That's not good. We don't want to do that. I perform as a pre-show for the camp. Are you serious? You perform as pre-show? Yeah, they're really nice people. Actually, The one brother, not Henry, the other guy, came up to me yesterday and to chat with me. He knew who I was, and they wanted to meet me, so it was pretty cool.
I think one of the biggest things that I saw today that was awesome is just after me and the Colonel hug, there was a refugee and her daughter came up and she told them, Mom, he's real.
So I said, yeah, I'm not AI. So I reached out. I said, and her mom said, touch him. And she just smiled. Yeah, no, that was pretty cool. People treated me kind of like celebrity today, which was kind of interesting. So, but you stay humble. It was pretty nice. Yeah, no, it was funny. It was endearing too. I met so many people that are here that are South African expats that are trying to help refugees. Some of them are helping already. Others asking for ways they can help. I mean, even a gentleman, if I understood, because he was mixing Afrikaans and English, but one of the Campbell's brothers was talking about a gentleman who comes all the time, and he had a pacemaker put in that was running like 1,000 miles an hour, and he nearly died from it and had to get adjusted. I think I heard that correctly.
Yes.
David, who I met, who was in the hotel where I was at. I met him at breakfast this morning and then saw him again this evening. This is a guy who almost died recently, and he wants to help. It was really refreshing to see. Not that it doesn't happen elsewhere, but there are so many South Africans in this area. I had no idea because they don't watch my show. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with these people. They should be watching my show. But anyway, we'll fix that. Anyway, no. So, by the way, so for the Potjiekos, we went around as judges, and so I'd always ask. I said, so how many of you are subscribers to my channel? A couple of the pots, no one said anything. I said, that's a shame. You really don't stand much of a chance of winning this thing now.
Colonel wrote in for the competition to win rugby tickets, but he didn't get it, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. No, I was 7
he
tickets
was
off.
like standing ready with his ticket in his hand.
Right. Yeah,
but he didn't
so I
make it.
have a ticket to the game. I bought a couple tickets, but I'm frugal. And so, I mean, look at the prices. I could have bought tickets for the Stormers in Cape Town, the Bulls in Loftus, and the Springboks at Loftus, all playing the All Blacks for less than what I paid for tickets for the top row in Baltimore. So I got tickets, but these tickets were like $450 a piece. So I don't gamble, but I bought a raffle ticket. I came within 7 numbers, but That's right. I got in the start position to run up and grab those tickets, but actually didn't have the tickets. So yeah, that I didn't win, unfortunately. But someone won. They're pretty chuffed. So we would say in America, pretty stoked, but South Africans say chuffed. Yeah, and actually, the Yaku, the organizer, asked me to speak, and so I spoke for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he asked me to address one question about whether South Africans get back to South Africa or not. So I addressed that, but I try to avoid using the term refugee. It's not a bad term, but I don't want a distinction here between refugee and South Africans because there's so many South Africans here. I want next year for the South Africans to just recognize as refugees as South Africans living in America. That's so. I intentionally try to avoid it, but I had to mention because the question was about refugees. But I said new arrivals. I didn't call you guys refugees.
Yeah, no.
I said new arrivals, and I also didn't talk about the refugee program. I said the new arrivals that President Trump made it possible to come over for. So yeah, so I think we need to start transitioning to that for people that've been here for a little bit because not that being a refugee is a bad thing, but they've got refuge now. And so I think that we'll try to start. I'll try to start doing that, but it's going to be impossible because I only get a refugee question. So I'll try to do it. But who's this? Then Allard says, "I love America. Went there for the past 20 years to visit my kids and grandkids. My husband just don't want to go as a refugee. How can we enter legally if my children are sponsors? Your children can't sponsor. American citizens can't sponsor. I mean." The visa lottery winners, they have more rights than we do. They can serial migrate people. So you can come over investing. Why don't you want to come as a refugee? For what reason? I mean, I understand that. It's a golden pass. Do you know you have to pay for a green card, you pay $1,440 per adult and $800 per child. And then you have to pay thousands of dollars to an attorney. So we're talking $10,000 to $20,000 to get a green card, potentially. I don't know the exact amount. But yeah, I do know what it costs for the green card for the fee, but the rest I don't know. But refugees get that for free. You don't pay for that. And they have to apply it 1 year. Whereas other folks, it's not so easy. You have to be here legally and be here to a certain amount of time, and then you can apply for it. So the green card is your golden ticket. You can stay here forever. Now, there are rules. I mean, like if you have a green card and you leave for a long period of time, you lose that green card. But anyway, the point is that I don't know why people wouldn't want to come as a refugee. Are you concerned about stigma? No, Flüchtling. Well, that's almost like German. Flüchtlinge. Flüchtling is what it is in German, but that's Flüchtling. Flüchtling. So it's almost a see why I can understand Afrikaans. It's like crazy German, simpler German, with bizarre pronunciation. I mean, it's Ronaldo goes. Where does he get this goes from? Where does that come from? It's not spelled goes. It's spelled goes. I mean, come on, man.
Where does he go?
Exactly. Where does Ronaldo go? I don't know. To PE, apparently. What's with all the hands and everything? What's Gary doing there?
So for the viewers, just to let you know, sitting behind a live, and you guys always think Colonel doesn't read your messages. He does, but the messages goes quite fast. And I can see why he needs moderators.
And this is actually kind of slow.
Yep.
Yeah, CB says a simplified German. Nice smile. Got your photo with Ignatius. Nice. Oh, good. Yes, so I did. I was asked to meet with, you say Ignatius, I'd say Ignatius. But you asked me with them, and I did. And then also there was someone else that I was supposed to meet with. I met with them as well. I can't think of the name right now.
Yeah, so we celebrated Ignatius's birthday also today.
Yeah. He's 22. Awesome. It was
he
awesome.
Got his hugs.
Yeah, I hugged him and his wife. Hug the wife first. Just saying. Always hug the wife first to make the husband jealous. You get that side eye if you hug the wife first, So anyway, but yeah. So Gideon Maloney says, Colonel, you're treated like a celebrity because you are a celebrity. Well, that's very kind of you. Not with Miss Heartburn. I don't think I'm a celebrity with her. Anyway, there are many who want. Yes, there are so many, Dean, who want to go. You look really well and happy. Glad you came on the show with Colin. Yeah, he
does look happy, and there's nothing wrong with his hip when he goes on the dance floor. There's nothing wrong with his hips. When he goes out, everything's wrong. But he can dance.
Can I mention your daughter's name? Or is that
yes, you can.
So his youngest daughter, Yannick, she's adorable. She asked me to dance, and so I went out and danced with her. I was a little surprised because I didn't use my normal moves. The thing a white man can't dance, that's nonsense. I can dance. I've always been able to dance. Not line dance and stuff like that, but real dancing to rock and pop and soul and R&B. Anyway, but I was a bit surprised, but I was just careful with my hip, and I was able to still do the moves. But Yannicka was mostly jumping up and down, so we were kind of out of sync at times. But she was having a blast, and I was very honored that she wanted to dance with me, because she came to me before the Campbell started playing. She said, "My dad's going to dance with me." I said, "That'll be awesome." And by the way, I caught it on video, so none of you can see it, but it's for them. So I already sent him the video. So, but it was just adorable. And then she danced with her mom. It was really cool. I don't know if she danced with her sister too at one point.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and her sister, who's kind of shy, got asked to dance by a young man.
Yep.
So when we rode back, it's not a short drive. It's about a half hour to get here. So her sister rode with me back, and we chatted and we talked about experience. I said to her, Max, what was it like when you got the tickets? Were you excited? Were you a little scared? She said, no, it was that. And I cried a little bit, because I said, why? Because it's real now. She said, yeah, because it's real.
That's the moment when everything sinks in and you realize this is
no bullshit.
Real.
This is happening. Yeah. Except for the people that went to the airport and had their tickets pulled. Oh gosh, I can't imagine
that must be bad.
That must be rough. That's happened to a few people, but yeah. So, all right, guys, what questions do you have that are not too personal or invasive for Max? Don't just sit there and say good morning. Ask some
I
questions.
think there was a question from Vodka Model. Asked how long we are here.
Oh,
so
how's it going?
We've been here 2 months now.
Yeah. So, Social Security number?
Yes.
EAD?
Yes. Driving license? Yes.
Driving license? Got a car?
Medicaid? Yes.
Okay.
Got a car?
And no super chats for me. What the hell is going on here? He's got a job too.
Pay stub received Friday.
Yeah, it's first pay stub. So.
And federal tax, state tax.
And that guy,
Rough.
FICA.
Oh yeah.
He takes your money too.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not thrilled about the fact he's not doing super chats, but I think his wife is pretty excited that they aren't going out the window. She's over here, arms going, yay. Yeah. But look, I mean, not to be offensive or anything or hurt anybody's feelings, but I mean, he's like sending 35 Rand. I mean, that's like, that might pay for half this bottle of water.
Now we need dollars.
Yes, but he did it many, many times. Anyway, so all right, what other questions you got for Max, guys? Let me get my glasses back on here. So speaking of rugby, we found out my daughter's high school starts later this year. It has a rugby team. Congratulations, that's awesome. Rugby tickets for the game in Cape Town. We're not going back, Carl, even if we win the tickets. No, the tickets were for Baltimore. They weren't for Cape Town. No, I'm saying I could buy tickets for Cape Town, Loftus. I looked at the prices, cheaper than what I paid for Baltimore. We're talking about Baltimore. Yep, so anyway, so let me go back down here. Okay. Thank you so much, my beautiful kids. Best son. You're very welcome, favorite. It was my pleasure to meet them. It was really nice. Heck yeah, I can't remember. Have you been to North Carolina? No, I have not. I've not been to North Carolina yet. It's a bit further drive than this, so I think I'll probably fly to North Carolina, because I just don't like driving on I-95. Here it's a 3-hour drive. Carolina's going to be, it's not that much further, but I'll probably just fly, because I can fly to Charlotte pretty easily. So, okay, 21st birthday tomorrow, right here in the USA. Congratulations. Sorry, Skuman says, just wake up and start listening. Well, that's cool. How many people are here? We're over 100 right now. That's good. Oh, we got 2 super chats. Kasigi says, was talking about Mad Max. You look really happy. Super. Yeah.
We do. Thank you, Kasigi.
Super chat is for him, I guess. I don't know how I'm going to give it to him. It's Rand. I can't give him Rand. Arnold says, how's it going? Pretty well. What's this? Oh, Renee, you put all caps. They would delete your message because all caps. That's reserved for Hendo. You guys should know that by now.
Dean Bota asked Max what you're doing for work. So I work for a propane company. So they do what you in South Africa know as LPG, liquid petroleum gas. Mm-hmm. So we do installations for people at their houses. So that's underground gas, and yeah, that's what we do. We install gas lines.
So the question is, what's a good mileage for a first car? All cars under 5,000 seem to have very high mileage. Yeah, that's because the price of used cars skyrocketed because of COVID, and they've not come back down. Used to be a used car was reasonably priced, but not anymore. So your best bet is just find one that's mechanically sound and go with that, okay?
Always remember you can check a vehicle on Carfax. In the US, they have quite a history on vehicles, on service, accidents, everything, ownership.
Also, watch for if you buy a car in the southeastern U.S. along the Atlantic seaboard or Florida, flood damage. Yeah, and that'll be in Carfax. So you look at that and see, because if a car has been through a flood, you don't want it. Trust me, you don't want it. Even though they clean up and detail it, you don't want it. So it's good to know. And Etienne, for the water, thanks. You gave 35 grand for the water. Thank you. That covered the water. Waiting to see if we get approved. So many questions to Max. How exciting were you to meet the Colonel in person? Can't wait to meet in person. Well, we met in person before. We've met in person before. Tell them.
I've met the Colonel the first time in Vanderbilt Park at a meet and greet. Thereafter, I met him at OR Tambo, where I handed him a book to take to Steve Hofmeyer for me.
Yeah.
And the
Steve
Colonel even said when we arrived in the US, he would come through and say hello. But I said, it's not worth that drive, it's far. And
actually, it was good advice. I mean,
yeah,
I felt a little guilty, but it would have been worthwhile, because they were knackered and they were in a hotel and they left the next morning. So it just, but I was going to come down. So, but anyway, so we've met. This is the third time.
This is the third time. And we shed a tear when we saw each other.
Yeah.
Been a long road.
It has.
Awesome times.
Here we got that Michigan rust. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Michigan and New York, you get rusty vehicles. Not in Pennsylvania. I guess they use different salt or use chemicals instead. How long do you process take to leave? Well, that's a fair question. But I mean, whether you process, I don't really need
Okay, process. So the process was since the beginning.
Everyone's different.
PRM email, and we did the 12 May statement of interest. And yes, then in September, we didn't hear anything from that. In September, Americaners put something on their website, which we applied for, and then we got the call in October. We did everything. We were finished by the 30th of October and the approvals. And then we only received our tickets on the 7th of February. 17th of February. And that's when we flew out. So yeah, the process is different for everyone. It's like the Colonel said, there's a big group, they call them the September Octobers, but it's not like that. Everybody is different. So you guys must just hang on, wait. There's a lot of investigations that take place behind the scenes. So everyone get vetted differently. So you must just wait, it will come.
So there's a question about grandpa headache powders. Guys, so that's a brand, okay? What you get in the medicine, you can get here different brands. So just keep that in mind.
Do not Google what is the equivalent to grandpa in the USA. You're going to get a name, it's called Goodies. It tastes like,
crap.
It's like salt and dishwashing liquid and Omo washing powder.
Omo washing powder.
It's not good. But it works, but it's not good.
So for some reason, this is ironic. Heinrich is saying Arthur's Theme, Best That You Can Do by Christopher Cross, one of those timeless songs. Yeah. Well, it's funny you should mention that, because the Campbells, and we saw the Campbells tonight, but last night Fat Man was there, Johannes, and we were just talking before we went live about that, and I said that I asked him, because he lost like 46 kg. I mean, that's like a whole person, he lost. And I said, do you sing better now? And he said, yeah. Or I said, do you sing differently? He said, no, I sing better. And I said, why? He said, because my diaphragm works again. So, but the point is that Christopher Cross, he didn't quite sing the same after that. So ironic you should bring that up. Yeah, they tried to shoot Trump again, apparently. So all right, come on, more questions for Max, man. It's late. Come on, ask your questions. Jason Erasmus, I hope to get approved and come to that side. Well, Jason, I hope if that's what you want, that it works out for you. So, yeah, a lot of people are getting processed now, and potentially might have another 12,000 refugees. Remember, so what have I told you guys all along? I said the cap, don't leave sleep over the cap.
Don't listen to what mainstream media tell you and what the cap is. Colonel said it can change any day.
Yep. And they can ignore it. And I lost a long-time viewer.
Another fact.
Yeah, I lost a long-term viewer. At least maybe he's back. I don't know. He sent me an email and he said, I'm not watching anymore because he thought I was being rude to him because I said the cap is nonsense. And he said, no one's ever broke the cap. I said, yes, the cap has been broken. And he said, no, it hasn't. I said, well, no, that's not true. But he was correct, but to a point. the cap has never been broken from a standpoint. It's 100,000. We didn't have 101,000. However, if they want you here in administration, they'll use humanitarian parole. They'll use temporary protected status, like they've done with the Venezuelans. So they'll find a way. There's 35 Rand for Max, okay, and then Zeneroland, that's unusual, 14 Rand. How's it going? Your first super chat, thank you so much for that. And favored. Why is Max getting the chats? What the hell is that all about? What am I, chopped liver over here? I mean, look, I know I ate lamb tonight and I broke my personal rule, but come on. Anyway.
Someone told the Colonel today he's looking old.
Where was that at? Oh, but a young lady who rode back with me tonight as I got in the car, what do we say? Something I said, oh yeah, I told her my age. And I said, I don't tell people my age. She goes, what? She couldn't believe that was my age. I won't tell you how young she thought I was. My 40s. Anyway, she wasn't just being nice. Don't even try that. I know that. Oh, she was just being nice, Grandpa. Anyway. Let's see what else. I could not remember all the questions when I had an interview. Let's see. Will that affect my procedure after you? Huh? Oh, you couldn't remember what? I don't understand what you mean. You couldn't remember the questions. You didn't answer the questions? That might be a problem. Or you don't. I don't understand what you mean. You couldn't remember the questions. Just a question of continued work for South African company arrival. Can I continue to work? You can continue to work for them if they keep you on the roll in South Africa. It just goes to your South African bank account. But you're going to have to get a Social Security number. You'll get it pretty quickly, and then once that happens. But see, some of these companies that hire South Africans that are willing to hire them here still want to pay them South African wages. So you have to figure that out too, because South African wages might not be enough to live on here.
Yep, not.
Yeah.
I just see Lucy Zealy. What tips can you give for when you land in the US, like a to-do list to ensure a smooth start? I can't speak for everyone. It differs from state to state, but when you arrive in the US, I think you've got to be very open-minded to realize that you only got a few months to get your feet on the ground, because then you have to look after yourself. So don't play your first few days. Yes, go look at the Walmarts and all the shops. I mean, that's what everyone does. But you must realize that you need to find a job fast. And to do that, you will need your social security number, your EAD. That's the most important. So go to the places where you get your social security number, get your documents in order. It's very easy. You walk in, get it done ASAP. Once you have those documents in place, you can go look for work. And there is a lot of work. If you want to work, you'll get work. That I promise you.
So there was a question here about EADs. You were told that they come in the post. Is that true? Yes, it is.
Yes.
But they mail it to your agency, do they not?
Depends on if your agency applied for it. They normally put the agency's address on. Your caseworker will bring it to you.
Yeah.
Once you're in your permanent housing and you've got an address, you can apply. If you're at your permanent address, you apply for it and you put your permanent address. It arrives in post very quickly.
Rare Brilliance wants to know if you have to recertify for gas installation. I assume he's talking about the propane.
No. On the propane industry here in the USA, it works differently. You don't need to be certified. You go with a qualified, certified gas installer. So you start learning. That's the process you go through. One of the biggest things that we needed is a CDL, because we drive with huge trucks. You drive with 1,000-pound gas tank, crane, machinery.
You're basically driving with a bomb.
Yeah, we're driving with a bomb. But the tanks are empty when you drive with them, mostly because you're not allowed to drive with a vehicle with that. There's a propane truck that delivers the propane. So those are the dangerous trucks.
Max, what is the one thing you enjoy the most since being over there? That's a good question.
One of the things that when we got here, the bus services are working amazingly. But once you start driving on the roads in the US, if the speed limit is 45, that robot hits green, you better get to 45 fast.
Quickly.
Not fast, fast. Because the cars, they speed to 45 ASAP, and they keep at that speed and faster until they hit the next red robot.
So George Wild said, please answer my question, but I'm not seeing a question from George Wild. I'm sliding back up here. George, you're going to need to ask your question again because I don't see any George Wild. There's Charissa. Waiting to see if we get approved. So my question to Max, how exciting were you to, oh, where you answered that one. Sorry, that was hers. I don't see anything from this George gentleman, so you're going to have to ask your question again, pal. Sorry. Okay. 132 people, 76 likes. Yeah, people forget to hit the like button. The house is isolated when you're inside and the door's closed, you hear nothing. I don't know what she's talking about, Madeleine's saying. So much news. Mali on fire, Trump attempt assassination in here, can't keep up. Yeah, it's crazy. But I unplugged basically for the day. I mean, I did send a bunch of videos to the moderators group so they could share it. But no, I've kind of unplugged for the day. So is cultural orientation before they book your travel document or after? It's before. They don't book your travel until you're fully qualified, and that includes cultural orientation. So, plus they tend to book your trip and they'll tell you about it until a few days before you fly.
I must say that cultural orientation can be before or after your travel. We had it after travel. After we received our tickets.
Really?
Yes.
But
we did a cultural orientation.
That's going to be impossible if you notify 3 days before you fly, though.
Yeah, but we had a week.
Oh, yeah. It's still pretty tight.
But we had the cultural after we received tickets.
Oh, that wasn't good. My hip. Okay, all right. Well, there you go. Did you inform SARS your overseas tax residence? Or you want to do that for a green card? Well, that's on you as an individual what you do, but your green card has no impact on the SARS. So I don't know. I
think you only cancel your SARS when you decide that you're not going back to South Africa and all your things are finalized there. Then you can cancel with SARS.
Yeah.
But if you still got things going on in South Africa, you can keep going on with it as long as you pay and keep your records clean.
Yeah, medication needs to stay in its original container. Customs and immigration can confiscate your medication if you put it in another container. That's not a good idea. So if you have prescription meds, leave them in the container. I kind of run a risk a little bit because they give me this large container for doxycycline for the rosacea, good for malaria since it's out of control in South Africa now. Not even supposed to have malaria, except in case it ain't. But the bottle's too large to try around with, so I have a smaller one that they gave me previously, but the date on it is expired. So I kind of run a risk. They go, wait a second, this expired. I'm like, no, I just keep the bottle. But no, you need to keep your medication in your original container, because otherwise how are they going to know? I mean, it might be like acid or something like that. You don't know. All right, so not all of us come with $50 in our pockets. I registered myself for certain courses. Completing 57, got most certifications. Okay, Alan. We had cultural orientation, 2 hours later received tickets. Well, I know of a lady who was in her cultural orientation and was handed her tickets and she broke down and cried. She was very emotional. Glad you're safe. Well, Max. Your RFC claim for disability grant in USA due to severe heart disease. We don't have grants as such. You can get Medicaid if you, in certain circumstances. So, yeah, disability you get through Social Security Administration, though. So Social Security supplemental is one way to do it. So I don't have the exact answer on that, William or Willem, but that's kind of how it works. Okay. Let's cancel SARS once you got citizenship. Yeah. Do you find it hard driving the wrong side of the road? Okay, first off, Hasigi, I'm going to correct you again. 87% of the planet drives on the correct side of the road, the right-hand side of the road. Who invented the automobile? The Americans. No, Daimler-Benz did not invent the automobile. We did. We perfected it. So we set the rules and the world followed us. These crazy Brits just have to be difficult, and they infected Southern Africa and Japan. I don't know how they infected Japan because they never had any influence there, but for some reason, Japanese drove on the wrong side of the road too. Now she's laughing because she knew that was going to get that response from me. The noise about between rooms inside the house. The next one, I want to ask if it's inside, not. Huh? What is? Do you understand that question?
What about the noise about between rooms inside the house and the next one? I want to ask is inside the. Okay, yes, I understand what she's saying.
I don't.
That's inside the rooms and the next door rooms. Yes, we live in an apartment, so you hear the guys on top, you hear the guys on the left, and you hear the guys on the right.
I don't have anybody on the left and right or on top. I have a house, so I didn't. That's why
on the apartment that would be
Yeah, it's
You
an
do hear
apartment.
the people, and
And is it necessary to wear warm clothes inside if it's freezing cold?
no,
No, that's
most
what
of the houses got
it's
aircon.
central aircon heating.
It's
So
warm,
yeah, so yeah,
but you pay for that power.
yes you do, and it ain't cheap these days. I know Army right and left. Oh, she's talking about the wooden homes. Oh God, bless South Africans. Okay, first off, this myth that all homes in America are made of wood is just utter poppycock. Okay, most homes were made from local material at the time. New England, lots of stone homes. Pennsylvania, lots of brick homes. Virginia, lots of brick homes. But yes, modern day, it's quick, it's fast. They can hire illegal aliens to build it and maximize their profit. So they slap up wooden houses. But you can find homes that are made of stone and brick, So, okay, it's just.
Die IC is van poppers en kersvet aan mekaar gesit.
Where should we exchange rands for dollars? It's probably a good idea to have some cash. Yeah, you should have some dollars on when you arrive if you can do that, if you have that resource. But do not change
Not at
money
the
at the
airport.
airport, whether it's in South Africa or in America. First off, in America, not every airport has money changers because, it's just not a thing. You get that in Europe and not in America very often. You get the major airports, but it's not a good idea. They take so much. They give you a poor exchange rate, then they charge you fees on top of that. And if they say they don't charge you fees, they give you an even worse exchange rate, so they come out ahead. You are not going to win. Your best bet is if you have a Capitec account or something like that, is to put stuff in a dollar account there and use your credit card off that, and then transfer money over here. So
Use your Capitec debit card.
Yeah.
You don't get charged when you swipe it here. You can draw cash. It's cheap.
Favorite says both my hips and knees were replaced. Go for your hip. It's an absolute breeze in comparison to knees. Yes, favorite, but I prefer factory installed equipment. OEM, original equipment manufacturers.
Made in the USA.
God created this body, and He did a damn good job because I am devastatingly handsome. In case you missed that. No, but I want factory installed equipment. No, I can still get around. I'm not hobbling.
No.
But He's seen me at the gait that I normally walk at.
Yep.
I walk at a pace 2 to 3 times faster than most
I
people.
couldn't keep up with the Colonel when I met him at our chamber.
Yeah. But now I can't do that. Now I walk like a normal person. But what I've done is I shortened my stride. So my stride is about a third of what it normally is, I'm doing okay. I'm not in pain, so I'm not in a rush to do this. First off, these people make a ton of money, and also on the horizon, scientists have discovered a protein that they can use to turn on reproduction of cartilage in joints. It's been tested in mice and it works. They said they've tested on human tissue. I don't know how they've done that. I mean, you kill somebody and chop their leg open and let it grow in there. I don't know, but they're in the process of discovering, and it may be within 5 to 10 years, an injection or a pill, and then your cartilage regrows in your joint. So I'm not in a hurry to become Steve Austin, the Bionic Man. Okay. But you've had both knees and both. What exactly did you do? Were you like a prop, a tight head prop that you got both hips and both knees replaced? That's crazy. But thank you for the advice. FMB Global.
FNB Global, same as Capitec.
But I've heard
fine with
Capitec
it.
has the lowest fees.
Capitec's the best.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from a lot of people. And Capitec is growing. They're very friendly to consumers.
And if you open your bank account here in the US to transfer your money from Capitec, it's
Well,
quick.
there you go. Hasiki says the cost is so freaking low on Capitec to transfer money in the U.S. Just do that. It actually costs more to draw money than it's just to swipe your card.
Correct.
Yeah, there you go. So, is Botman here? I missed him. Somebody is greeting Botman. So, the lady that opened my account, Captain, was so annoyed with me with all the questions. It was funny. Which American-made smaller hatchback is good? Apparently, you get a tax break if you buy American. Yeah, but that's buying new. You have to buy a new vehicle. So you get the tax break and buy a new vehicle. So that was part of Trump's big, beautiful bill. I don't know. I'm not into hatchbacks. I don't really have an answer for you on that. You'd have to look and see. But bear in mind that not every American car is made in America. A lot of them are made across the border in Canada. So you've got to make sure the VIN, vehicle identification number, is U.S. manufactured. So don't just go with the model. Make sure the VIN matches. Yeah. So, for instance, I have a Toyota 4Runner, And I got the one I got because it was made in Japan, not in Ohio or in California. I didn't want a Japanese car made in the States. I wanted it made in Japan because I trust it. So mine has the Japanese VIN on it. So need to know more about that protein. Well, so do I, Karen von Vijk. There's a story. I gave it to my orthopedic surgeon. He's a surgeon yet. He's an orthopedist, but I haven't had any surgery. But I gave it to him, and he's fascinated by it. So, how is on-the-job training for you, Max? Yeah, how's that going?
Vanessa, I'll say it's awesome. The CEO of the company even contacts us directly sometimes. When we had the news that we couldn't get CDLs until we get green card, we were very concerned about our jobs going forward because our jobs, we need CDL. So he notified us directly and said he's keeping us on. We don't have to worry. We'll work around that. And on the job training and what we're doing, it's awesome. The American people that's been working for the company 15, 20 years, the experience, they take us out, they show us everything. We're having an awesome time with them. They're enjoying us, we're enjoying them. And they learn us everything we need to know. And as South Africans, most of the things that I've done with them, I already knew. So that made it easier. But they're awesome. They're very helpful. I cannot talk bad of anyone here on jobs. They help you. They want to assist. The Americans are very friendly people.
And generous.
Just to give you an idea, I don't have a car. Didn't have a car yet, so I'm driving with another refugee. So we drive together to work. So he had to go to North Carolina for a week, so I couldn't get to work. One of the guys, they said, "There's my truck. Use it." I've been using it for a week.
Wow.
Doesn't know me, from a bar of soap.
Wow.
Gives me his truck.
Now, I've never loaded it by my car, so not everybody's that generous. It's my insurance. No, but that's awesome. No, but I mean, so I heard repeatedly from so many refugees today, and I've heard in other places, but especially here, I keep hearing from refugees, because people have this false stereotype of Americans that's perpetuated by the media, by the news, by Hollywood. And what I keep hearing is how generous Americans are. Do you find that to be true?
Yes, they are really awesome people. Just at work, I mean, they don't know us from a bar of soap. They don't know our culture. They didn't even know about the refugee program. So we start working there. They ask questions, and they just want to support. And it's amazing.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for the valuable advice. Wish us luck. We're going USCIS on Tuesday. Just waiting for my son's case to be linked. Okay. Well, good luck with that. Okay. Yvonne Nordkia says, bye for now. Guess my request was not relative. What is your request? I mean, see, what is this? Okay, I'm going to intervene here. I mean, that's the second time that someone is like, you're not answering my question. Okay, first off, we are having a conversation and the chat's coming up here. We're doing our best. Why do people act like they're being singled out and ignored? You're not being ignored. You're not being singled out. I asked the gentleman earlier, asked this question again, he didn't. If you pop on the show and you ask a question, doesn't get answered, you leave, well, that's very self-centered. There's a lot of people here. We've gone back and, also the chat jumps up and down in this. So please ask your question again or whatever it is. I didn't see it. Did you see it?
No.
No, so it's right here, Yvonne Nordkia. I never signed him for any, I never seen any Yvonne Nordkia. Also, sometimes the chat doesn't show up. We don't get all the chat. That's one thing that's really frustrating is that, I'll go back and look for something.
Scrolling up, we don't see.
There's nothing here. I see nobody called Yvonne. But Yvonne is saying her question must not be relevant. Well, I don't know if your question is relevant because I don't have it here. We've just gone back, 15 minutes.
Already there by Vanessa.
15 minutes.
Which
and
we answered.
There's no Yvonne. So please ask your question again. Yeah, so you just assume we see it. See, no one?
Yep.
Okay. George, I'm sorry. I didn't see your question. It didn't come up. So please ask again, okay? See? And I was looking for your question because I saw that. So, well, people get so upset and pissed off. But, guys, you're not having a conversation with me. We're trying to pull it from the chat. So, please, George, I want to answer your question. So I'm sorry to ask you to put it in again, but please do it again. And Max and I will both look for it, okay?
George, well, I did ask.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So also remember there's a delay. You guys aren't exactly here in the moment with us. So you're all in the past.
Yes.
Because Max and I are talking now, and you'll hear it 4 seconds or later after that. So I'm looking
Answer
for
that
George.
from the meadow. How
Yeah, go
are the
ahead.
kids adapting to school, and how is it different from South African schooling?
That's a lot different.
Uh,
First off, the school year doesn't start in January; it starts in August.
yes. So what happened? Both our kids, one is 17 and the other one is 7. So one is going to high school and one to elementary school. So what happens? They get assessed. Okay. So they look at their last grades that they were in. So they try to keep them in the same grade. So it's all going to differ from when you arrive in the US.
Unless it's the start of a new academic year,
Yes.
then might advance them to the next
Yeah.
grade. Yeah.
So what will happen now, what happened with our kids, they've been kept in the same grade. So once the summer school holiday starts in August, it reopens, they will be in that same grade. So they've been adapting very well. The little one, her biggest wish was to drive with a bus to school. She's done that. She's adapting well. She made friends. She loves the teachers.
But something happened on the bus.
Oh, so she was supposed to be home, and the bus didn't arrive. So the wife got worried, and a few minutes later we got a message. Of course, the school, everything works on apps here. You know exactly where your kids are, what's happening. So there was an accident. Somebody rear-ended
hit
the
a school
bus.
bus. I rode school buses my entire academic career in as a kid. Never got hit in a school bus. They're big. They're yellow.
Massive.
They have a sign on the side that says stop. And you can't, if you pass one, you're going to go to jail. And they've got reflective stuff in the back. And they got light shut. And somebody rear-ended one.
Yeah, somebody wearing a I'm stupid shirt sitting on the phone.
Probably texting, yeah. So.
But yeah, so they rear-ended the bus, and within a few minutes we knew exactly what's happening. They had medical checks on the children, everything. It wasn't a major accident, just a bump. Yeah. But they do check the children. They made sure everyone is okay, and the bus delivered them back to house. Our older girl that's in high school, she's adapting very well. I think the biggest adaptation for her is the schools in South Africa is small compared to here. Just when she goes...
Okay, hold on. It depends where you're at.
Yeah.
She's in a school with like 1,800 students. I went to high school with 500, so 1/3 the size, and my graduating class was 175. We were in the same academic or athletic conference as a school called Philo. Their graduating class was 34.
Amazing.
In the
It
same
all depends on which state.
It depends, right? But
so we're in Richmond, which is a huge city.
But in areas like that, in big metros, you're going to have large schools.
So yeah, it was a shock for her to see how big the school is and so many students. And lunchtime when they go to the cafeteria, there's 1,800 children being fed. It's amazing how the system
like an army
works.
Operation.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's unbelievable.
So I've got George's question now. He wants to know, why can't you choose where you want to live anymore? Well, I don't know what you mean by anymore.
I don't know.
You
that
never got to choose where
you can ask them.
But I mean, this is important. So where is this coming from? Anymore. You never got to choose where you want to go. Is there a hidden question behind this? Not that you're being secretive, but when you're saying anymore, that implies that at some point you could choose. That's, when he uses the term anymore. So see why words matter? Words are important. You're talking to an author here, and words matter. So what do you mean by anymore? Because you can never choose. You can request. So my friend who was in the proof of concept program didn't get notified for 13 months. Didn't hear from anybody. And his case is fine, but he didn't hear it till February 19th. And now he'll be here shortly, 9 weeks later. But he put me down as his contact because I've known him for years. So I'm his U.S. link. And then he wrote a very long, detailed, and thoughtful, respectful letter saying we would like to go to Florida for the following reasons. We think it would be best for us, and it would make a smooth transition for the following reasons. And it was a reasonable letter. So he didn't get Florida, and he didn't come to Pennsylvania. He's going to another state, nowhere near either one of those places. So look, it's absorbent capacity. It's what's available and what agency can take you on. So that all plays a role. So George, that's the reason, but I don't understand the anymore. Yeah. I need to understand that.
I just want to answer this one, which I saw you now. Sorry, sir. Where can I find like a K53 document to revise US road rules? Okay, so the US does not work closely to the K53 system that we have in South. That's a system in South Africa to do your driver's license.
No, we don't do that.
They do defensive driving. In the US, you can just go to DMV of the state in which you're in. You can download all the documents there. Everything is there with the
Practice
questions.
test sometimes.
It's a quick test. It's very easy, but you got to learn the law. The road signs are easy, but you need to know the law here. You'll get asked, if you do X, Y, or Z, what is the fine, imprisonment? You need to know that.
How does the tax year work? The tax year is based on the calendar year, so January 1st, December 31st. However, you file for taxes, you have until April 15th. If you owe money and you ask for an extension, which you can get, like a 6-month extension, you pay interest from the date of April 15th until you file. So if you get a 6-month extension, you wind up owing them $1,000, they'll charge you like 8% for 6 months. If you don't owe anything, you can ask for an extension and they'll get your money later on. Sometimes people aren't able, someone's ill, they're in the hospital, they can't get around to it. They're out of the country or whatever, so they find it difficult to do their taxes. So you can ask for an extension. But if you owe money, interest starts tick, 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 tick. But if they owe you money, you don't get interest. So there's that. What else we got here?
The cap I bought at a gun show. If you're asking.
Oh, okay, yeah. Luggage trolleys, the airport works with credit card as far as I recall. I'm not sure. I have never paid to use a trolley in an airport. They're always free. So I know that some places do charge for them. 2 adult sons over the age of 20 do their GED now. I'm not sure that's what, Alan, you're in the States. Okay, so the GED can't do overseas. My son's sisters both live in Denver. Will he end up with them? Did name? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They may wind up in the same town, but they're not obliged to live in their house, although they might try to push you for that. But they can wind up anywhere. I mean, it's absorbed capacity and and the number of people coming in is growing. So if in fact the U.S. government brings in 12,000 more before the end of the fiscal year, in addition to the 5,000 or so that have come this fiscal year, that means an average of 2,400 South Africans will be coming here every month. That we've never had a month more than 1,600 since this program began. So and most of the months have been around 1,000, 1,200 at most. So that's going to be double what the normal month has been. So that's a lot of people coming between now and then, which means a lot of agencies are going to have to scramble to take these people in. Because remember when Trump froze the program last year, these agencies fired a lot of people. They let them go. They made them redundant because they some of them could absorb paying for their salaries.
Working on skeleton staff.
Right, and that's true for a lot of them now. And some of them have piss poor attitudes. So that's another problem altogether. Are you guys going to stay where you are, or would you ever consider moving somewhere else? Well, that's a hard question to answer, but I think for the moment.
So we've been here 2 months. I love the Richmond area. It's beautiful. The weather is unpredictable. It's warm here.
The weather's
it's
unpredictable
not the warmth that we used to. I come from the Highveld, so it's hectic.
If you like Durban heat, it's coming.
Yeah.
But that's not Highveld.
It's already hot and it's not summer yet. Yeah. One of the things that we found that we need to adapt to, that we're not used to, is the pollen levels here. It's unreal. Yeah. You use medication, I promise you. It's unreal. Your vehicle, if you have a white vehicle, it's yellow. By tomorrow it's yellow. Yeah. It's unreal.
Yeah, well, but that passes. This is true. There's pollen throughout the year, but especially in the summer, spring is the worst. But it happens throughout the year because things bloom. But right now, the tree pollen is what it is. That's it. And these are deciduous trees.
Pine trees.
Well, no, it's not coming from pine trees. It's coming from the deciduous trees, the hardwoods. Yeah. So the broadleaf. So like the maples, the oaks, the cherry trees. It's coming from that stuff, and it's a lot this time of year. And so if you're not accustomed to it, you'll have reaction. So, but
people here get injections for that.
Well, people have allergies. But not everybody has allergies. Jason Stevens photography from Erie. If choosing where to go was ever an option, would not have come to Erie. Well, I'm with you on that, Jason. I've been there. I've seen the place. You saw me. It sucks. What do you think about the assassination attempt on Trump? I think that people are crazy. This world has lost its mind. I mean, right is and wrong is not something a lot of people understand. And it's really scary. I mean, we see this idiot on social media trying to justify the murder of that health company executive, claiming that he harmed people with medicine. That's nonsense. They help people with medicine. These people have a skewed worldview. It's kind of like some of the trolls that harass me and people who glom onto my content and then attack me all the time. Their worldview is backwards. So anyway, If the child is 18 and needs to do grade 10, will she be able to go to public school or night school? Okay, I don't understand the question. You mean grade 10? Is that this equivalent to ours? Is that a senior year? That's not a senior year.
18 will be high school still, no?
No, but I mean, what's the last year?
Your
Is it
grade 12.
12. Okay, so if you have an 18-year-old who's in grade 10, that's a little strange here. You can have an 18-year-old who's in grade 11 or 12th grade and they graduate when they're 19, but it's almost a given that everyone graduates by their 18 or 19 in worst case in America. So being 2 years back, that's odd. They will, as Max said, they'll place you based on your...
on that qualifications, but what's also important in the US is age. If you're 18, you need to be in a certain grade, and they will look at
Right. Yeah, because
are you fit enough to be in that grade?
Because
they
18 is an adult.
Yeah.
We don't need adults in schools with minor children. So we had this nonsense with these criminal alien invaders who came to this country during the Biden regime, and they claimed that they were 18 or 19, and they turned out to be 26 and 28, and they just accept them. They put these predators in schools. So they're very attuned to this. It's
just to give you guys an idea. As a parent, you just don't walk into the school and go see a teacher. Yeah,
no.
You make an appointment. There's police presence at schools. It's safe. You know exactly where your kids are. If they're not in a classroom, you get an honor app notified your child was not at this class. It's amazing how the system works here. You know everything.
So here's another question. I'm not really sure. Kokolo is saying, not a refugee, so you're not a refugee, I guess. You wish someone would just tell us where to go. U.S. is vast, difficult decision. Well, I mean, how can I possibly tell you where to go? I don't know where you're from. I don't know what you're like. I mean, I know where he's from. I know what might appeal to him, or maybe he just had a farm there because it was a place he could get a farm. But so, I mean, you know, my friends from Gordons Bay wanted to go to Florida, which makes sense. They like to near the ocean. It makes sense. But I don't know you. I mean, tell you where to go. How can I tell you where to go? I mean, you know, I love Wyoming, but I don't want you there. No, but I mean, it's impossible to tell someone where to go if you don't know what they're all about or what they like. I mean, if you're in the IT industry, you know, I wouldn't go to California, but the Santa Fernando Valley or the Santa Cruz area is a great place to go for IT. So hard to answer that question. If you have cats in a freestanding home, can they roam free outside? No, that depends on the municipality or location you live in. You live on a farm somewhere, live in a rural area, cats can do what they want. But I don't know why people let cats roam free. That is a dumb idea. I'm sorry. I mean, you may let your cats, but you do realize that cats that run outside have much shorter lifespan. A cat that lives indoors, that's a domestic cat, can live a lot longer. My cat lived to be 23. And she was never wanting for space or, you know, activity.
But I think you took your cats to Botswana.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I know how much it costs to ship a pet through South Africa. And it was a long time ago. Also, took them. Well, the one took to Europe, and then took both of them to Botswana. So you know, it's. But she lived to be 23, whereas a feral cat has an average lifespan of 6 to 8 years because of all the environmental things. Letting your cat outside is just a recipe for your cat getting infected or being attacked or something like that. So you do what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you to suck eggs, but I'm just saying cats should be indoors, domestic cats. Okay, that's my view. Let's try from the laptop. You mentioned CDL. Did you get one? No one can get one because
you can't get CDL
because the Department of Transportation just put a ban for all refugees, all non-green card holders.
I think it happened on the 16th of March.
16th of March, yes, because of the Sikhs in India, from India and California. They can't read signs, and they're issued license by California, and they keep killing people on traffic accidents. So now everybody has to suffer.
So the new law only states that now you have to have a green card
Yep.
if you want to apply for CDL.
I was worried about the age. She's doing Cambridge International at the moment, so she'll have to stick to that. Not really sure what that means. Okay. So EFF wants us to leave. It proves their narrative. Trump wants us to leave. It proves his. The only people who benefit from us staying and building are South Africans, all of us. Rogan, I guess you're making a statement. There's no question there. It's not just EFF wants you to leave. The ANC wants you to leave. MK wants you to leave. Yeah, so I'm really not sure where you're going there. Trump doesn't want you to leave. Trump doesn't really care if you come here. He's just made it possible for you to come here. It's not like he's promoting it. Do you see him out? Do you see Trump out there promoting it? Hey, South Africans, come on over. He did it once the other day. It's the first time. It's like, we have a place for you. But it's not like he spent the last year running around going, please come over here. We've got a place for you. Because if he did, then South Africans actually know what the hell's going on. But most South Africans don't know about this program because they're being misled by the media. What is this? Lynn saying, oh, Seaskers. Okay. Why is she saying that?
I don't know.
I'm not a refugee. I know New York, upstate, and Florida. I know you cannot tell me. Just making a point, even if you can decide. It's a difficult choice. Okay, no, Coquilor, I suppose it's a difficult choice, but I mean, I don't think it is. I mean, let me explain why I don't think it is. If you're coming to the U.S., presumably you have a job, or you have lots of money. If you're rich and you're having a hard time making a decision, okay, that's different. Depends what you want. Do you like skiing? Go to Colorado. You like nature, greenery? Go to Maine. You like outdoor sports events and fresh water? Move to the Great Lakes area, Wisconsin, Michigan, Northern Ohio.
You can stay on the one side of Virginia, you got the Appalachian Mountains. You stay on the other side, you got the sea.
Yep.
It's like a country in one.
And you've got the Chesapeake Bay in part of Virginia too.
Chesapeake Bay,
you
massive. I've seen Chesapeake Bay. It's massive.
It is. I've been there. That's where I get my crabs from. Really enjoying the relaxed vibe of the discussion. Yeah, it is kind of relaxed, isn't it? Yeah.
Enjoying this.
Well, we already cried earlier, so we've got it all out.
And you listen to the Campbells.
Oh, the Campbells were awesome, man.
They sang Elvis Presley. It was just amazing.
And I told these guys about how I knew Elvis. I knew Elvis Presley. People don't believe that. It's a true story, though. And Annika Oberholtz. Okay, I ran together. Annika, thank you, Mr. Wyatt, for your assistance support. Please, can you advise us where your interest in South Africa came from? Sure. I mean, I've told this story a billion times, but I realize some people are new to the program. They're not used to it. So I had to tell it like 5 times a night, so I'll tell it again. I'll give you the Reader's Digest condensed version because it's getting a bit late. So I grew up with not a whole lot, and in high school I lived in rural Appalachian, Ohio, and ran a dairy farm. Yeah, I ran it because my stepfather bought the cows, but he didn't want to do it, so I did it. So I would go to school, and I had interest in maps and geography, and I'd look at atlases and gazetteers, and I'm like, ooh, Liechtenstein, Andorra, the Vatican City, San Marino. I want to go to these little postage stamps countries. That's fascinating. And so I got interested in travel because of that. And I had interest in history already. So for some reason, I started reading Soldier of Fortune magazines when I was in high school because they had them in the library. And they would talk about wars in Rhodesia and Angola and Mozambique. And I started following these things, and it was very fascinating to me. And then I also had interest in German history. And so in Africa, Germans settled Namibia. So that, and Togo and Tanganyika. So I started following all that. Anyway, jump forward a little bit. Freshman at university in 1982. And on a Friday, one of the upperclassmen says, so you come in the game tonight? I'm like, the game's tomorrow. He goes, no, not football, rugby. I'm like, we just got paved roads and electricity where I live. So, I mean, we don't have rugby. I know what it is, but we don't have it. So he laughed. He said, come on down. You'll meet girls. I'm like, okay, I'm there. So I went to the game, and I fell in love with rugby right there on the spot. It was a great game. We didn't have a national side. So I'm like, England? No. I wanted to support a national side. France? No. Australia? Ugh. New Zealand? Ugh. Scotland? Ireland? Maybe. South Africa? And I did a little research, and I found out that South Africa had a long storied history of rugby. So I started following, and I became a Springbok fan in 1982. And then shortly after that, I think in 83, I became a Province fan.
That was good rugby.
It was great rugby. But I couldn't watch it because it was on TV. So I was just a fan, even though I could never watch it. So I learned the game by reading books and not actually watching rugby. Anyway, so I was a history student. And so later I joined the Army because I didn't have money for school, and I was too busy running around school instead of focusing on grades. Joined the Army, went overseas. I was sitting in the education center in Bad Kreuznach, Germany in 1984, signing up for a university class at night. And there was a little pamphlet there that said the Army Foreign Area Officer Program. They send you to a master's degree program. They pay for it, and you get a salary. Pretty good. They'll send you to school for language. You learn language. They pay for that, and you get your salary. Then they'll send you to work in an embassy somewhere, and you get paid to be basically an intern traveling around. I'm like, what's not to like about this? So I decided right there in 1984 that I wanted to go back to college, become a regular Army officer, of which there are only a few thousand in the Army. You have to compete for it, so I had to compete, and I wanted to be a regular Army officer, be a military intelligence officer, eventually become a foreign area officer for Sub-Saharan Africa, make full colonel, and be the defense attaché in South Africa. All of that came true that I planned in 1984, except the defense attaché in South Africa, because as I became a full colonel, which was the position, the Africa Command gave the job to the Navy. So couldn't do it. So anyway, so I didn't get to do it. Plus, it comes down when you rotate. If your rotate is not in sync with when a job's available, then you can't do it. So everything came true, but that's where my interest came from. And I'm a published author. I've written about Africa, and so I work in the intelligence community. So it all grew from that. So, and that's why I've lived in Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Niger, Mauritania, Uganda, and Ethiopia. So that's the Reader's Digest condensed version, which still took 3 minutes and 48 seconds to tell. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. But as far as the current interest, it's because I retired from active service, and I began consultancy focused on Africa, and then I wanted to make videos about Africa, and people in South Africa started watching it, and so it just kind of caught.
And then COVID came, and the Colonel's channel disappeared.
No, I started. I had the channel, but I started doing this after COVID. Or no, when COVID started is when I started this. Then they took my channel away, and I created another one. So, thank you. Oh, that was right into that question. It jumped. See, it does that. Just you see how that just did that, right? Great show. You guys must be tired from a long day. Yeah, I think we are kind of tired.
I can still go.
Trump is really helping refugees. Sorry to say, there's no way to help South Africa. Okay. People leaving are being isolated from the government anyway. Trump is just giving them. Yeah, Trump is giving an option. He's not asking them to leave. What do you think he's doing with the tariffs investors pulling out? What investors are pulling out? Pulling out of where? What are you talking about? There's no investors pulling out. I'm an investor. I'm doubling down. When stocks drop, I buy them. Based on your feelings, not facts. What did Rogan say? I missed that. Debbie Morey's back. Debbie's a rock star, by the way. Debbie is a fantastic, and although she's really become one of Ronaldo's moderators, if I'm not mistaken. So we're not really going to get into that.
We know where the super jets are going.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that tonight. It's a little late to get in that. I know you're passionate, but dude, this is African history. What the heck did Rogan say? Let's go back and look for that. Now I'm curious. Trump set the refugee cap at lowest in history. 4,000. Oh, here we go. Spots went to white South Africa. Okay, first off, you're factually wrong. So either you're trolling or you're poorly informed. So let me set the record straight here, dude. 4,496 of them did not go to white South Africans. You're wrong. It went to South Africans, which includes blacks, coloreds, Indians, and whites. So get your facts straight. Don't come here with bullshit. You're wrong. I've interviewed these people. I've seen them. I've met them. I've just traveled to Pittsburgh, Columbus, Cleveland, Erie, and Buffalo. I met colored South Africans and Indians who've come over in the program. So you're factual. 3 went to Afghans. You know this because I reported it. You know that information because I'm the only journalist in the world who reported that until Reuters did it this week. Funny how this comment just comes out now after Reuters does it. I reported it a month ago. I actually reported the Afghans at the end of November because they came in November. Funny how this works.
Since day one, there was the Afghans.
Zero to anyone else. But you know what, Rogan? Who gives a flying flip about zero going anywhere else? No one's entitled to come as a refugee. We don't have to let people in this country. Yeah, he is a troll. So we're just sorting this out. He's not just promoting, he's chartered the planes. There's no chartered planes. Dude, you get your head so far up your ass, you're smelling shit. Wake up. Nothing you said is factual. You just made shit up. See, this is what the left does. They take facts, which I made available to them, and they twist it in this nonsense. This is what they do. Rogan is he's smoking crack cocaine, or he's just here to troll. All right, so let's get back to it. Anyway, now I know I was talking about. Oh, wow, thank you. You're a godsend. Well, you're welcome. Okay. Kobe says, my question is, my wife used to work in the U.S. and Social Security number. Yes, your Social Security number is for life. Although I had a refugee case officer try to tell a refugee that you get a new one. No, you don't get a new one. No, you don't. It's lifetime. It's yours. It's yours. So if you've had a Social Security number, it's still valid. Now, hopefully she knows what it is, but if she doesn't, there's a way to find out once you get here, okay? Debbie says, been busy, opened up a second company, but off in the background watching. Yes, but you're supporting Ronaldo, so we're not going to go into that tonight. Anyway, just teasing Debbie. No, Debbie made my banner for that first tour.
Yeah.
She got me business cards. She's a star, man. Yeah. Any news on the Ronnie Jackson bill? No, it hasn't gone anywhere yet. Calling someone a troll because you disagree. No, they're not facts. They're not facts, dude. You're trolling. You're giving emotional things here. I've given you the facts. You claim that he brought 4,496 whites. That's factually incorrect. Watch the interviews on my channel. They're there.
Yes.
They're there. So you don't agree.
They're here too, in Virginia.
You know, because you say something doesn't make it factual. Dude. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. My facts. You haven't presented facts. The information you have is because I provided it based on the monthly report. And then Reuters copied that information from my report and used it in their news story weeks later. Now we see why mods are so important to keep conversations pleasant and not irritated. Exactly. I'm mostly at home alone during the week on Thursday. 2 men entered our... Oh, my goodness, Fluffy Navel. I'm glad that you're okay. If your medical aid expires, what will happen if you're on chronic medication? Debbie, that's a hard question for an answer, but basically, look, people who are on medication don't go without. There are ways that that's done, but I really, it's late tonight. I mean, it's not something I can answer very well tonight, so I apologize. If I had more characters in this chat, I would list all my sources. You can list all your sources, but you can't refute. I mean, so first off, we'll just start with that one. You cannot refute that it's white people alone. That's bullshit. So you're going to tell me because you got it from The Guardian or from the BBC that it's true? Dude, I mean, I've actually interviewed these people in America. How? Okay, so what's your source? Wikipedia? Anyway.
It's so wrong.
Faster to get work if you have Social Security. Yes, it would be. Now, in theory, you have to have an employment authorization document. But in practice, that isn't always true. Let me explain. So if you go to an employer and get interviewed and you've got an accent that they're not familiar with, they're going to wonder if you're a foreigner. They're entitled to ask you why you're authorized or how you're authorized, ask your nationality. So are you an American? No. Are you authorized to work in America? Yes. Why? Because I'm a refugee and I have an employment authorization document. Can you show it to me? No, I haven't received it yet. They can ask for it. The reason they're allowed to ask for it is because they run a risk of hiring illegals, so they're allowed to ask people the legal status if they have a question. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no employment issue there. And they don't have to hire you if you don't have an EAD because you might be lying. Just because he says he's a refugee, that doesn't mean he is. But if he has the EAD, there's the proof. So some employers will ask for it. But in theory, you don't need it. And I'll explain why. The day you arrive in America as a refugee, you are authorized to work day one. But in practical terms, unless you have a Social Security number already, and sometimes unless you have the EAD, you can't work. Does that make sense? I know it makes sense to you.
One of the most important documents you receive when you fly, when you receive your tickets, is your entry document, which is stamped, which says you can work. It's got a picture of you, your case number, all your details. It's the most important document that you have. After that, EAD, Social Security number.
Okay, so Rogan, now you're not trolling. Now you're actually making a statement. You're making a statement that everyone leaving makes it proportionally more difficult for each person who tries to make this country better. So Rogan, you're upset that people are leaving the refugee program. But you're not upset about the 80 South Africans who abandoned South Africa every single day without the refugee program, which exceeds the number of South Africans who left the refugee program. That doesn't bother you that for the past 25 years, dozens and thousands and hundreds of thousands of South Africans left. So you're upset and you want to come in here and bring this context here. I think your anger is misdirected. You need to talk to the South Africans who immigrate out of the country every day, because there's more of them than there are refugees by a wide margin. 5,000 South Africans are left under the refugee program, yet a couple million South Africans are left of their own right and volition. So I think you're just confused.
If I could have shown you today, Rogan, at the SA Potjiekos Fest, whites, blacks, coloreds,
Indians.
expats, not refugees, Indians as well.
Yeah.
Not refugees, expats. Expats outnumbered the refugees by probably
Oh,
10 to 1.
yeah, 10-1. And they were all those things. And they've all left because they can't live in South Africa. It is unsafe. They're persecuted. They're denied opportunities. Whites, blacks, Indians, and colors, all here. And you're not complaining about them. There's a lot more than them. Oh, you're listening. But dude, there's a lot more of them. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people leaving all the time. I mean, this isn't our statistic. This is from the South African government and reported by Cockprot 24, also known as News 24, and also the Daily Maverick. And I believe they've reported Rebecca Davis, if I'm not mistaken. I'll stand on correction for that. But South African media are the ones reporting that 80 South Africans are leaving every day. And this has been going on for years. And that's a hell of a lot more than the number of refugees here. The refugees are a drop in the bucket. 5,000. It's nothing. Yeah, honestly. And even if they were all white people, it's still a drop in the bucket. There's 2.8 million Afrikaners. Even if they were all Afrikaners, it's a drop in the bucket. Now, if they were all white farmers, which is what the media lies to you about, then it would be an impact because there's only 28,000 farmers, and so 5,000 left. But they're not farmers. Most of them are not farmers. Okay, so where else we at here? Fly a kite. Okay. Why does Trump not issue a mass refugee program? He's limited 7,500 because, as Trump stated, there's been pervasive fraud in the program. And as the refugees themselves are discovering, the fraud is broader than what Trump thought it was. Trump thought it was people coming here poorly vetted, and he was correct. But the corruption runs much deeper than that. It's underperforming agencies, underperforming agents, and people that are making money from this program and not delivering services. So it's much worse than what Trump thought. He stopped the program because of massive fraud in the vetting program. But he didn't even know about this other fraud. Yeah.
Yeah. And getting rid of all the illegal immigrants.
Yeah, but that's a separate issue.
Yeah.
That's a separate issue, but that's all part of it. So, yep. Potential employers interviews. I am illegal to work. Yeah, exactly. Well, Jason, that should be all it takes. Mm-hmm. But they are legally allowed to ask you for an EAD, and they don't have to hire you if you don't have an EAD if that comes up. That's to protect them legally. Okay. Apologies. Might have come in here at the back end of it. So you can start working the moment you land, but still need to get relevant paperwork and work. Okay, Rob, you're misunderstanding. The question was said, but someone said their wife already has a Social Security number. If you already have a Social Security number, you can work.
It makes it easier.
Yes, but actually some employers hire people and they just don't pay them initially. They work on the promise that they're going to get a Social Security number, and then they just hold their wages in abeyance. I mean, I'm not sure how they do that, but yeah. So the Social Security number is an important thing. The EAD, you're authorized. See, the law allows you to work the moment you arrive. That's just paperwork. Well, it's an ID card, actually, but it's just paperwork. So, but yeah, you can work the day you arrive, but you need a Social Security number. So does that make sense? Okay. U.S. is not as safe. Okay, these are trolls coming in now. So goodbye. Goodbye, Pat Murray. Okay. If you do your homework, go watch all the Colonel's videos. You'll find most of your questions answered. Already answered, many, many times.
There comes the voice of reason.
Okay, so Rogan, your point is people stay. I don't have a problem with that. But again, all right, let me just be very clear here. There's 2.8 million Afrikaners in South Africa. There's 2 million more whites. That's nearly 5 million white South Africans. Even if the 5,000 people who came over here were all white, it's not going to dent. That's a fraction of 1% of the white population in South Africa. There will always be Afrikaners in South Africa. There will always be Boers.
And this is not the first time the Colonel says this.
No, it's like a million times. I said that from the day this program was announced. I said it. Even if 200,000 people came to America, there'll still be that culture. Those people will still be there. That's not going to change. And no one can build a country based on racism. You have a party that is doing the exact same thing that the National Party did, but the group they favor has a different skin pigmentation. And it's not even the entire group. It's a small segment of it who are their friends who are connected. They're corrupt to the core. No one is saving South Africa. No one. The DA has betrayed all its voters. It is part of the GNU. Lines in the sand. Basic Education Laws Amendment will never tolerate it. Not only are they tolerating it, Siviwe Garuba is implementing it. The DA is implementing racist legislation meant to exterminate Afrikaans, which affects millions of South Africans. 12 million South Africans speak Afrikaans, not just 2.8 million Afrikaners, who, by the way, they aren't even the largest ethnic group. coloreds speak it more than they do. So Hermanus just gave Hermanus Johannes, I like to think there's 350. Thank you for the 350 rand. So yeah, anyway, a drop in the bucket, my friend. That's it. And I'm being generous calling you my friend, by the way. Exactly. That's not what he said. He's just trolling Hasigi. So Dusty Corners, welcome to Langman. Okay. Nothing but love for those strong enough to stay, but not everyone is in the same boat. Yep. Carlos saw in detail that MCRS have a post for new case managers. Yeah, Jason, I wouldn't get too excited about it's going to change anything. If they keep hiring the same sort of idiots, maybe if you apply for a job, maybe you should get a job with them. And then they won't be hiring idiots.
I know there's some of the South African refugees that applied it.
Yeah. Well, that's the one in Erie that called me a human trafficker.
He was busy with human trafficking in containers.
So, yeah. Max was hiding the containers tonight. So. Anyway, guys, we've been at this for an hour and a half. It's rather late. I hope you don't mind if we wrap up here. We've got refugees coming over tomorrow to have a conversation, and we've got an early start. So, all right. Just go with the plan. Anyway. International law will not hold South Africa accountable. They're fond of the ANC of saying that we believe in multilateralism, multilateral agreements, but South Africa sends combat helicopters to UN-sanctioned warlords in Benghazi. South Africa, in violation of national law, sends mercenaries to kill Ukrainians in that conflict. South Africa violates the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which it's a signatory to. South Africa violates its own constitution with expropriation without compensation, which clearly violates Section 25, which precludes that law. So South Africa is a rogue nation under the ANC and the GNU that can't follow international norms. So if you think anyone in the international community is going to change that, no. And it's not going to be Trump. He's a little busy with Iran and Gaza and Ukraine, and South Africa is like way down there. So anyway. All right, Max, anything you want to say to folks?
No, just want to say thank you to all the viewers and everyone that supports Colonel Chris. Just want to say a special thank you to all the organizers of the SA Braai Fest. It was amazing. All the people that we've met there, it's really amazing to see how nice people are, really good people. And I'm looking forward to next year. Maybe Colonel come also next year. Campbell's will be there. So yeah, it is awesome, and I'm looking forward to the Campbell's interview. I think that would be awesome.
I'll be interviewing them. They approached me. They wanted to do an interview, so it's pretty cool.
So yeah, there was a lot of people that said, "You in my feed. What's your name again, Colonel Chris?" And they're all going to like and subscribe. So guys, before you leave, do like and subscribe. Let's keep Colonel going. He's doing a lot for us.
All right. By the way, I just gave a timeout. There's someone that's been irritating everybody. So, but we're leaving now, so the timeout really won't have much of an effect. All right, guys. Good night. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. We might do a live from here if people want to be on camera. If they don't want to be on camera, we won't do it. All right. Cheers.